Some people call them raccoons. Some people call them rickums. Trash pandas, if you will. I just call them silent killers. These things may look cute, but they're not cute. It's all a front. I'm here to tell you. Like, oh, look at the cute little raccoon. No, not cute. Silent killers. These guys will murder any chicken, any duck, any bunny, rabbit, even though those are the same thing, I think. Birds, they do not care. They will take it out. And me being a red-blooded American, I'm not going to stand around and let that happen. These raccoons might as well just work for Russia, dude, because they have waged war against my farm. I haven't had a raccoon issue in what I want to say years. And in the past month, they have been relentless. I took one out, 3 more came to the funeral, boys. They're relentless. When I tell you relentless, I mean I have not got sleep in the past week, and I'm tired of it, boys. They're cutting into my beauty sleep, and I'm not having it. So today, come along, because we about to do something about it, baby. Good old American way. We about to go back to hunting and trapping, son. It's about to be the wild, wild west up in this daggum yard, you hear me? My red-blooded American, son. I ain't gonna let it happen. I'm about to show you 2 different methods that you can deal with predators, small or large. They make these traps in many different sizes. You can get very, very small traps, or you can get very, very large traps. Whatever you're going after, they make a trap for you. And the first trap that we're going to display here is called a foothold. And a foothold looks like this right here. And it does exactly pretty much what it says it does. It grabs their foot and it holds on to it until you can get there and dispatch them or take care of them however you want. And these traps still do work for relocation. If you want to catch an animal live and relocate him, this trap works fine for that. Now they are a little hefty to set if you don't have a setter, and I do recommend being careful. What you're going to do is put both of your feet on those little arms, and you're going to hold them down with your feet while you set them. Most people want to open up these jaws like this when they set the trap, and that's the wrong way to go about it. What you're going to do is you're going to keep this one up, and you're going to put this one down. That way you have room to work right here, and it doesn't snap on your feet or your fingers. We don't want nobody losing a finger out here, boys. You see this little setting mechanism? You're going to take this little, I'm going to move this for time being. You're going to take this little setting mechanism, and you're going to throw it behind that trigger, and you're just going to lift up on it. It can be a little bit of a pain to do. They do make trap setters that do all this for you, but like I said, I don't have any. And there you go. You have a set trap. You're going to want to be very careful working around this thing, because they will get you, boy. You kind of want to cover the trap up better than this. You want to dig around in the dirt a little bit and cover it up, which I'll show you later. But basically, you just put bait around this and hope that they step on this pad. And when they do step on this pad, you got them, boys. These also come with a little chain coming off the side. You can lengthen this and tie it around a tree, but what I do is I make these little stakes and I drive them in the ground. That way they can't just drag your trap off and get away, because they will try to do that. Now technically both these methods are called live traps. Even though that trap does look nasty, it does not break bones. It doesn't really hurt them in any way. It just holds their foot. Take that as you will. Like I said, I do love animals. I love nature. I do not want to do this. I have to do this. This type of live trap is called a cage trap, and it is a live trap. It does not hold their foot. It does not hold anything. It's basically just a trap. You can see that little pressure pad in there. You put your bait at the back of the trap, and when they walk in there and step on that pressure pad, this door is going to slam shut. Excuse me for that loud noise, rip headphone user, sorry. And this little trigger mechanism is not going to allow that door to open anymore. This is one of the most common traps that I like to use because, like I said, it's very effective. It is very bulky and harder to hide than a foothold. You usually want to bury these in the ground where they can't really sniff them out or see them. Another thing you're also going to want to do is leave your traps outside. I know that's crazy, but you honestly want them to rust. The biggest thing I'm worried about with this trap right here is it's brand new. And a lot of times brand new traps don't trap well because they smell like humans. They smell like a store. They smell like a bunch of fragrance. that doesn't smell like the woods. And you actually want these to smell like the woods. A couple tips for one of these traps when you get a brand new one. Take this thing out and dig a bunch of leaves up and a bunch of dirt and just fill it full of leaves. Let it take the smell of the woods. That way they'll be more comfortable around it. With animals like raccoons and possums and stuff, it doesn't really matter that much. But when you get up in the trapping levels to like a coyote or a fox, man, them suckers are smart. They're smarter than I ever thought I was. They'll sniff you out, literally. If they smell something that they don't like, they ain't going for it. I don't care what kind of food you put in that thing, they're smarter than that. And the more you mess up and the more you don't trap them, the more you educate them, because they are good learners. So you don't want to do that either. You don't want to mess up. You want the first time to count, and you want the first time to matter. You want to get that sucker and get him gone to protect your livestock, because that's the most important message of this whole video. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is baiting your trap. What do you bait your trap with? Well, you can bait your trap with a lot of things. One of the most used things that I've seen, and one of the most favorite things that I use, is just simple dog food. And if you can't find dog food, man, I've baited these things with white bread or wheat bread or whatever you got. I mean, even bread and honey. They're about like a catfish, man. They'll eat anything. They are predators. They are just looking for a meal. There's a reason they call them trash pandas. You could honestly probably put a McDonald's wrapper in there and catch one. But my secret is just pet food. Any type of pet food you have. I've even seen them go after chicken feed. But I do have a secret sauce, and I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. Fish oil. Any type of fish oil needs to be a natural oil. And when I tell you, raccoons love fish, they love fish oil. Take a little fish oil, sprinkle it on your dog food, and that's all you need, buddy. It's that simple. There's not really any crazy baits that you need to use until you get up higher into trapping levels and start trapping like coyotes or foxes or bobcats or mountain lions. It just goes up the scale each time of how hard it is to trap. But on a scale of 1 to 10, raccoons and possums are like a 3, dude. They trap very easy. They might even be a 2. They're not that smart, and they're risk takers. That's what matters most, is they'll take that risk for a meal. When coyotes and bobcats and stuff, they will not. They smell something weird, they're out like a fat kid in dodgeball, baby. They ain't sticking around. But that was a raccoon squall. That's how many are around here. I just caught him squalling on camera. Honestly, my neighbor might have trapped him, and I really hope he did. But he has a bunch of livestock and a bunch of issues. He actually had a skunk eating his chickens, and it would just eat the heads off and leave. And so would a raccoon. Like, they're so vicious, they don't even stay for the meal. Like, they literally just went in his chicken lot just to kill his chickens and leave. They didn't even eat them. And we don't put up with that around here, guys. But I'm going to choose this spot right here next to this wood line. And the reason why I'm choosing this spot is because visually for the past couple nights, this is where I've seen the raccoon come out of. So, I mean, if you can look for a game trail or you know where they're coming out of, you really want to put that trap in that vicinity. That way they can find it very easily. If you know where he's living, if you know where he's coming out of, you don't want to put your trap 200 yards away over the hill. You want it to make it as easy as you possibly can for them. That way you can trap them and get what you need to get done, and they can find it very easily. That's kind of the name of the game. They would probably find it anyway, but it would definitely take them longer. If you can, put that sucker right outside their front door like a daggum Jehovah's Witness, alright? I also chose to put the trap right next to this limb that just broke out of this tree above my head. And one of the reasons for that is because this limb is expelling a lot of scent. And that scent may mask the scent of this brand new trap. So you have stickers and all kind of things over this trap. And all those things emit smells, believe it or not. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your trigger right here. You're going to push that flap back. And you're going to pull this up. And when you pull this up, there is a little trigger right here on the side of it. I'm going to see if I can do this one-handed so y'all can see it. You need to pull that back, let it go right down inside that groove, and set your trap right back down on it. And what that does is it pulls this pressure pad up, and then when this pressure pad is pressed, the trap activates. It's not going to hurt them. It's a really easy trap. You can find these at your local tractor supplier or any type of farm store. I'm pretty sure you could even order them off of Walmart. And what I like to do is I like to barely put that thing in there. So you can put it all the way. I like to have it barely sitting on there. And what that's called is a hair trigger. Literally a hair trigger. Alright, you can see we have our trap set. It's ready to go. Minus one thing. We need our bait. And where you're going to put your bait is in the very, very back of the trap. That way he has to walk past that pressure pad to get to this bait, and he's going to spend some time back here eating. And if he spends some time back here, chances are he's going to step on that pressure pad. You do not want to put your bait in the front of the trap, because if you do, he may never even make it back here to this pressure pad. And it's not going to take much. What you're going to do is just sprinkle you some dog food right back in the back of the trap. I also like to take and put a couple pellets right out here in front of it. That way, you know, it kind of leads him up to it. He's like, ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Oh, I'm trapped, boy. Some country boy's coming to get me. Somebody help me. I'm stuck in a trap. Ain't that a song like Jelly Roll sings or something? I'm pretty sure it is. But anyway, guys, that's how you set a live trap, a box trap, whatever you want to call it. It's not that, it's really not that complicated. It's pretty simple if you ask me. In the trapping world, if you are an amateur in the trapping world, if you're an amateur farmer, whatever you may have, and you just want something easy that takes care of business, this is the way to go, 100%. You don't want to mess with footholds. You don't want to mess with dog proof, especially not footholds, because you're gonna get them snapped on your fingers at least a few times. Any trapper will tell you they've had a few traps snap on their hand and their fingers while they're setting them. They do make setters for those traps. Makes it easier to set them. And it also blocks the trigger off so the trap won't snap. But those cost extra, boys. And we ain't spending no extra money just to save a finger or two. What kind of man you think I am? Safety. Pfft. I can't even spell that, dude. But anyway, we got the trap set. And I'll do another video and keep you guys updated. And, I mean, we'll see if we catch anything, dude. Alright, guys. So the next things you're going to need for a foothold trap is a shovel, a good strong stake to stake it down with, unless you want to chain this around a tree, and if you do, you need an extra length of chain. And you also need a hammer and your bait. And I know this doesn't look like a conventional hammer, but I made this myself, if you can't tell, and I'm very proud of it. So don't say nothing about it down in the comments, unless it's a compliment, right? You know, I'm just kidding. But I did make this myself because I needed a good trapping hammer that I didn't care if I lost. So that's why we have that. Now, I recently chose this area to put my trap. And the reason I did is, one, because I see the raccoon here a lot. I've seen him in this area 3 different times, just like that area up there. And number 2, there's been animals rooting around in this already. So it already has a lot of scent. So chances are he's going to smell that and he's going to come back here looking for a good meal. And he's going to find a trap. Basically what you want to do is you want to take your shovel and you want to make the area as flat as possible. You do have to dig down a little bit because I'm going to show you how we have to hide this trap. And you do need a little dirt to sprinkle over top afterwards. So what I like to do is I like to take that shovel and I like to barely run it over that area. And that just produces very fine dirt. And then you take that fine dirt and scoot it over to the side. Do that a little more. Take that dirt, scoot it over to the side, and digging down in this dirt will also provide a new natural scent, and it will mask your scent. So that looks like a good flat area. We're going to get the trap set up and staked down. You're going to sit your trap right in the center of this area like this, and you need to make sure it sits flat. So you need to take it and twist it like this. A lot of people wear gloves when they do this so they don't get their scent on there, but I don't have any. If you do want to use gloves, make sure you leave those gloves outside and you do not wash them in the washing machine. Because if you do, they're going to smell you out, sniff you out. That means you're going to put your scent on it. And basically the name of the game with trapping is you want to put as least of your scent on the traps and in the area as possible, because that smell's not natural. A human smell usually smells like perfume and deodorant and stuff like that, laundry detergent, and they're going to be wary of it. So you want this trap to smell as natural as possible. Welcoming him on in, boy. Just come on, get you something to eat. Sit down a while. How'd your mom and them? Oh God, my foot's stuck. Some old big old farmer comes out here, pow, my boy. That's why you don't mess with my family. You feel me? All right, I'm getting carried away. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. Anyway, you're gonna put your set. We're calling it. It's a trap, I know, but we're calling it a set. I'm gonna put 1 foot on this side, 1 foot on this side, and it is a little hard to balance. That's also why they do make trap setters. This trap is way harder to set than my other one. I actually hate this trap because it's hard to set. And there's a yellow jacket. Go away, homie. This ain't your video, dude. It's mine, alright? I told him off, boys. Don't you worry. This trap right here. This one's harder to set than my other ones, because this thing does not want to stay down. There we go. Just like I showed you in the demonstration. Boom. Your trap is set. And that's not exactly a hair trigger. I've seen people put the trigger way lower than that on more of a hair trigger. And this is a Duke AR trap, and it's a letter D. A Duke D. And the letter pretty much just goes along with the size. I think it's like a size 5 or a size 6. They go anywhere from like 1 to 20. I mean, you're maybe even bigger than that, dude. Like a bear trap. Like you could trap a dang grizzly bear in one of these things. They get a lot bigger. This is a good mid-range trap. It will trap raccoons, but it would also trap a bobcat or a coyote or something like that. That's why I went with this specific trap, is because you can trap a lot of small animals, but you can also trap larger animals if you need to. Like I said, you're either going to get a longer chain and you're going to tie that around a tree somewhere so he cannot get off, or you're going to take a stake. And for some reason this one won't fit in my stake, so I'm going to have to secure it a different way. So you want to take your stake and put it in the ground just like that right there. And you want to make sure, I'm going to do this off camera. I'll be right back. A lot of people set these different ways. A lot of people will like dig a round hole right here and put a bunch of bait down in that hole and something fluffy to attract things with, or something like that. And that's more or less for like coyotes or big cats. You're going to take the remainder of your dirt and you're kind of just going to cover up the rest of that trap. You don't want the trigger to be covered, but you do want it to look as natural as possible. So the less of it that we have showing, the better off we are. You just kind of want to make a bed around that trap. Make sure you do not get any under that trigger though, because it could cause your trap not to set if they do step on it. So it's not hidden very well, but it's hidden good enough for an old raccoon. And like I said, a lot of people do dig bait holes, like a little hole right down in there that he'd have to spend some time trying to get down into. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to pour some bait all around this thing and hope that he comes in. Back to my dog food with my fish oil. We're going to throw that bait all on that trap, just like that. And that's basically how you set a foothold trap. I will set the other trap a different way and show you how to do that bait hole. Stay tuned for the next trap set. We got this one set. We're ready for him. And I know this was a lazy set. Anybody that actually traps is going to call me lazy for setting that way, because I didn't cover it up fully and I didn't make it look perfect. Listen, this is a raccoon. It's not a coyote. It's not a bobcat. We don't need to fool him. He's already fooling himself, baby. We gonna get him. All right. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but there's an obvious animal trail right through here. I'm going to take you directly down the trail. You can see how this stuff right here is beat down. And look at this, dude. He's been getting trash from somewhere and bringing it here and eating it. This is literally like an old can of tuna. So this is an area that he feels safe with. In there, look, he's been digging right here too. He's already got his scent in there. So this is the best place to put our traps. So a lot of times for your bait hole, people have what's called a trapping hammer, and it's something you drive in the ground and then pull it back up, and it'll pull an amount of dirt out, and it'll be a little, gotcha, be a little circle hole left down in the ground. They'll put their bait in the bottom of it. But what I use is a stake, and I'll hammer that thing. Rip headphone user, sorry. I will hammer that thing in the ground and then twist it back and forth a good bit, like that right there. And a lot of people do this for dog proofs. This is kind of how you have to set a dog proof. And then boom, you got your bait hole. And what that does, you put your bait down in there. That way he spends more time here. If you just set your bait here on the ground, he's going to eat it really quick and leave. But if you put your bait at the bottom of that hole, he's going to be here for a while digging that out. And it gives you more time and more opportunity to catch him. And just like I did before, right there's our bait hole. And I just took the shovel and did this a bunch of times to make a level, flat area. And you also do this to get you some fine dirt to cover your trap up back with. While I was walking over here, I found a chicken feather, and I'm gonna leave this right out of the top of the hole once I put my bait in. That way it looks natural, and it's like a little lure. A lot of times you do this when you're hunting big cats, because obviously cats like things like this, and it's kind of just like a lure. Makes it seem more natural, like there's an animal in that hole. And we're gonna take our trap. We're gonna throw him down in there, just like that. And you don't want to dig down too far. Basically what you want to do is, this trap is about this tall on the bottom of it, and you want to dig down that far. That way this trap is level with the ground. And you want to be as good as you can make it, because we obviously want to actually catch them. Like, we ain't out here just playing, doing this for fun, you know. We're trying to protect our livestock here. There we go. And I'm going to move this one back a little bit. See, the higher you pull this trigger, the more he's going to have to press down on it to get it to set off. So I like to set mine on what's called a hair trigger. That way if he barely steps on it, it's going to go off, basically. And like I said last time, we're just going to take our dirt. Make sure you do not cover up your trap line, your stake line, whatever you want to call it. We're just going to take dirt and put right around the edges of these traps. And you can cover up the jaws just a little bit. You just want to make sure that it's clean under that trigger. I just stuck my finger in there. Did y'all cringe? But you want it to be as natural looking as you can make it. You want to cover it up a little bit so it just looks like dirt, you know? Like, oh, this is definitely not a trap. It's just some food, you know? This one we're going to cover it up pretty good. You can also cover these little areas. You can cover these little areas. And a lot of people put a piece of foam under this pad. That way no dirt can get under that pad. I usually don't do that because I'm not that serious about trapping. I only do this when I need to. But basically this is what you want it to look like. The only thing that's going to be out of the dirt is that little trigger there. Now we're going to take our set stake. We're going to widen this hole out some. And we're going to put some bait down in there. And like I was telling you about the bait hole earlier, that's just going to keep them in the area longer because the bait is harder to get to. And we're going to take our bait and we're going to pour it right down in that hole. Just like that. Then we're going to take the rest of it and put it right along the trap. We're going to take our little feather and top off the hole, and boom. That's a good set right there, boys. All right, we got one thing left to do, and that's stake our trap down. And you definitely are going to want to stake your trap down, or they're just going to take your trap and leave with it. It's literally that simple. We got our trap set. We have 3 set total. I might take that little bitty squirrel trap and set it out, because the raccoon that I am trapping, I did notice that he's a smaller raccoon. He's probably a yearling or a pup or whatever they call it, but old enough to hunt on its own, and just dumb enough to try something crazy. As I'm standing here, I'm like, man, that really looks like a den tree. See how it's hollow in the middle? That really looks like a den tree. Any tree that you find like that, there is a very good chance, if it's hollow in the middle and there's a lot of raccoon sign around the area, there's a high chance that that's where they're bedding down at. And like I said, guys, I put her right at her front door. And this is all that you can see of the trap, is the little pressure plate. A lot of people cover that up a little more, but I'm not too worried about it. Here's our bait hole, and this is what the set looks like. It is a little disturbed, but as this gets weathered, it will blend in nicely. And as you can see, that trail right there, we put it right in the middle of this trail. So even if they don't stop and eat, there's still a small chance that they're going to step on that pressure pad. Also wanted to show you guys this right here. This is another trail that I'm on right now, and this is an area where they've been digging. I wish I had more traps. And look how wore out this area is under this tree. This is where another game trail goes and makes a turn right there. See how it looks like a miniature hiking trail? In the business, in the hunting business, that's what we call wore out, son. And what that means is there is a lot of them in this area, and they are frequently traveling through that same trail. So we're right in the right area that we need to be, which I already know we are because I see a ton of them come out of there. But just a few little tips and facts, and I really hope this helps somebody if you're dealing with problems on your farm of miniature predators trying to get your chickens or ducks or whatever you may have. This may be a good solution for that. And like I said, you don't have to mess with the foothold traps. You can go to Tractor Supply. I got 2 traps. It was a 2-in-1 deal. It came with this 32-inch trap, and it also came with a 26-inch trap, which is a bit smaller. It's more for squirrels and stuff of that nature, chipmunks, I guess, and rats. If you have a big wolf rat problem, that'll work for that too. I do have some smaller traps just like that for rats, and I'll show you how to take care of that. If you guys want to know, just put it down in the comments. What should I trap next? I do live on a farm, and we do have big rats around here as well, so I could show you how to trap those if they're still around here. And well, as I was saying, this trap right here is a 39, and I have a 26, and I think I have a 42. But to buy that 39-inch trap, it's about $50 at Tractor Supply. They have a deal running right now where you get a 2-for-1 deal. You get the squirrel trap and you get the raccoon trap, all for $39. So you basically are getting about 10% off of the trap, and you're getting a whole trap for free. So it's a really good deal. I went ahead and took them up on that. I have another live trap that's bigger at my other house, and I got to go grab it too, and I'm going to go ahead and set it too. I'm also worried about that trap not trapping at first, because these footholds, they have been outside for 2 years. They smell like nature. But that trap right there, it smells like Tractor Supply. It smells like fragrance oils and many other things. People, it smells like humans, and that's really not what you want. We may have to leave that out here for a little while. When you buy a trap, do not put it inside your house. Leave it outside in the weather. Leave it outside in the rain. Take fish oil and pour it on the mechanisms that need to move. That way they stay oiled, and it's a natural oil. And leave it outside. You want it to smell just like the woods. A lot of people that I know, they'll literally rake up a pile of leaves when they get a trap, and they'll put the trap under a pile of leaves and just let it sit there for weeks, just so you can get your smell off of it. But this trap also, this live trap that I have right here, is coated in like a rubber mesh wire, and that can also smell like chemicals. And a lot of times I don't like using coated traps or painted traps, but like I said, they had that 2-for-1 deal, and it was too good of a deal not to pass up. But usually I don't like to use painted or coated traps because they can also smell those chemicals. But basically how you cure that is just leave it outside. Most people want to put it under storage or under a porch or something. Don't do that. Just leave it beside your house next to the woods and don't touch it. Don't mess with it until you need it. But I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know down in the comments, what do you want me to trap next? What do you want to see next? I'm just an old Appalachian country boy. I build motorcycles, I build trucks, and I do a lot of old Appalachian things the old way that I was taught. So what do you guys want to see next? Appreciate you watching.